Goody goody everyone, this is Dayhawk, your favorite Daedric Prince, bringing to you episode 31 of Shaman King 2001. So the last time we left our heroes, it was the whole hunting down the Oracle Bell, which turns out to be like a wild goose chase that was not necessary because apparently within the Oracle Bell in the help section, um, there's a caption saying that if you lost your Oracle Bell, press here and a member of the patch will come and give you a new one. But how can it be possible when you're the one that lost the Oracle Bell and cannot use that caption? You're screwed unless you're with another person with an Oracle Bell. Can you explain that? Huh? No, you can't. And in this episode, it's another funny episode with a bittersweet ending. It starts with Yo and the gang in the middle of the forest, in the middle of the night, walking, and poor Ryu is trying to summon Billy, but no Billy. And for 2 hours, no Billy. And until he ran out of Furyoku and had no choice but to give up on Billy. And then you see in the background 2 shiny balls are spying on Yo and the gang, and they fly away. And you see them at some abandoned town, which looks like ghosts, spirits, and they end up using their magic and transform this certain abandoned town into a brand new town. They remodeled the town. And like I said, Ryu runs out of Furyoku, and poor Billy. He got stuck in the middle of the road while dozens of cows were crossing the road. So he heard Ryu's call, but he cannot do anything because cows are crossing the road. You heard of chickens crossing the road, but in this case, they're cows. So they continue on their walk. Ryu is disappointed until, before that, I have to give you this caption. Lyserg is a Debbie Downer and mostly a grump in this episode. Because throughout this episode, he's a grump. He's angry that the rest of the group is all carefree. They're not serious enough. If they were serious, they would have discovered Patch Village by now, and he's a grump. And so they're walking on the road, and then they see a car approaching. Of course, Ryu thought, "Oh my god, it's Billy. I knew he would come. I knew it." And he comes running, and then next thing you know, it was not Billy. Instead, there were two old. There was an old couple in the car, and so the old couple picked them up, and they took them to their town. And mind you, on the ride, Horo and Lyserk notice something odd about the old woman and the old man. Like something ain't right, and you see them like, I don't know, like fizz in and out, and they assume like, wait a minute, maybe I'm just getting tired. It's pretty late. Maybe just my eyes playing tricks on me. And tells them like, don't worry, I can feel that they're nice. They're nice, and they're not bad. And you can tell that Yo knows something, and Ren too, even though he doesn't say anything. I think he was taking a mini nap in the car, but Ren is smart. Come on. And so they have this meal in the old couple's home, and weirdly enough, they asked them to stay for a few days. And Lyserk was like, no, we can't. We have to go. We're in a hurry. And they're disappointed, and they go off and prepare their rooms. And of course, Horo, Ryu, the others like, why are you being a Debbie Downer? What's going on? And so they go to their rooms, right? And strange things has been going on. A couple of things happen. Horo, while putting more wood into the fire, gets burned, and Koro freezes him to cool him down. Then Yo was sitting in a rocking chair. Then all of a sudden, the chair like threw him on the floor. All of a sudden, and Ren hears this knock on the door. He opens the door, but he doesn't go outside and check who it is. So he had Bison to go outside and check. Next thing you know, Bison gets hit on the head with what it looks like a giant tub. And you kind of wonder, like, how can that sort of thing hurt his spirit? You're a ghost, is supposed to go through a spirit, but no. And that's when I told you guys earlier about Ren, like, he picks up things really fast, and he just like, yeah, I know what this is. And then Ryu was taking a shower. Then all of a sudden the shower mysteriously stops, and he screams. The boys open the door, and he's covered in mud. and it cuts to the scene of Hao camping, and he's pretty upset that Yo is not making any improvements at all. He's slacking off, and it's time to push him on the right path. That's not his exact words, but by that scene, he's not happy, and he's gonna do something about it. In the meantime, you see in the background Miki Hiza spying. What else? Oh, yes. Mount Terror. So Manta bought all of Anna's souvenirs, and he's just waiting for Anna, and then it cuts into the scene of Anna approaching this frozen lake, and it appears that there's something underwater. We don't know what it is just yet, but just know that it's something to do with Hao. Then in the next scene, the next morning, they wake up. As they're about to head out, the old couple asked them for a favor, since apparently they knew that they were shamans, and they figured, okay, can you do us a favor? There are monsters in the old mine, and it will be a great deal for us to, for you guys to help us get rid of them. And Lyserk, of course, is like, we have no time for this crap. Let's just go out there and try to find Patch Village before time runs out. And they talk, and then next thing you know, the Lily Five just pop out of nowhere and pretty much wants to help, but is there a reward? And so Yo and the Lily Five agreed to help them, and so they go inside the cave, and it's and once they hit where they needed to go, because there was a sign saying monsters ahead that way, and it was pretty funny. How could there be a sign inside an abandoned mine saying monsters go this way? Oh god. So they go to the direction that the sign was pointing, and they're in a cave, and it looks like like a lake, and while they were waiting for something to happen, Ren tells everybody that the old folks were not real at all, and they were just spirits. And there are some people, I think maybe Horror and Real didn't, and the Lily Five didn't pick up what was going on, and neither did the Lily Five, because they just pop out of nowhere. I don't know where they were at. Apparently when they heard reward, they just pop in. Hey, is there a reward? Okay, I'll help out. All right. And some of the people in the group didn't realize, but of course Yo and Ren knew what went down almost immediately, even before. That's when you go back at the beginning of the episode, the moment Horror and Liza saw something weird, Yo said, do not worry about it. Remember, he said, do not worry about it. So right there and then, Yo knew that those people were not real at all. And so when it ends up happening is that the spirits appear, and they transform into these giant gorillas, and instead of fighting, they actually had a mud fight. So the group have their weapons ready, but then you see in the scene where these spirit gorillas grab like balls of mud, and the group was looking at each other like, what's going on? And then they threw the mud, and the boys ducked, but it hit the girls instead, and they were like knocked out. And so throughout this fight, it was not really a serious fight. They were just fighting like a mud fight. It's a mud fight. And during this mud fight, one of the mud balls hit Lyserk, and he got mad and ends up joining the fight, and eventually he was not a grump anymore. He had fun. And so at the end, the spirits thanked the boys for having such a great time with them. It's not every day they encounter shamans, and take the opportunity to prank them. And one of the spirits apologize to Lyserg because, we're sorry we took a lot of your time. We apologize. And Lyserg's like, don't worry about it. I had fun. And just when everything was happy and giddy, and mind you, the Lily Five are disappeared. They weren't part of that group, and next you know, Hal shows up and burns some of the spirits up. He burns them up, and everybody was in shock to witness the spirit of fire burning a portion of the spirits up. And Hal was telling Yo that he was displeased. You cannot slack off. I want you to become stronger. And yeah, like, don't doze off ever again. And he flies off. And then it leads to him and Hao and Mikihisa, and pretty much tells him, like, I know you're out there. I knew you were spying on me the whole time. Come out and face me and we'll talk. And Mikihisa doesn't do it. And at the end of that scene, he tells Mikihisa that you better find it and bring it to Yo. Like, he knows what's going on. Like, he knows that the Asakuras found his book because remember, those demon spirits were protecting the book and they were easily defeated. They were linked to him, and he knows that, oh, they have my book. So he pretty much, okay, give the book to Yo. Give it to him. Like, he wants it. He wants Yo to have that book for a reason. And Mikihisa sends the message to Yome, and he gets pissed because he knows that Hao knows about the book and everything else. Like, Hao is taunting them. He's taunting them, and Yome knows it, and he gets really pissed off. And then it leads to this scene back to Mount Terror, and Anna destroys what's underneath the lake, and it gets to be revealed to be beads. The 1080 beads, to be precise. And I know a little bit about those beads, but generally it's the same beads that were used on Hao thousands of years ago. So the Asakura's plan is to get the beads and defeat Hao with them the same way back in the ancient Japan. And I think that's the end of the episode. Like I said in the beginning, it was a bittersweet ending because it was a fun episode, but then Hao came in and killed most of the spirits. Some of the spirits were still alive because they were with Yo and the gang. But all of the spirits are gone thanks to Hao. But they know that, well, they ask themselves at the very end of the episode, as you see Yo and the gang walking down the road and continuing their journeys, is Yo Asakura the one that can defeat Hao? And they feel that, I think he's gonna be the one that can defeat Hao. And yeah, and that's it. It was a fun episode, and I enjoyed it very much. and here's to episode 32. You realize that in this version of O1, they are taking their time. They're taking their time while while in 2021 everything is super fast because already they discovered the path leading to Patch Village. And O1, they still haven't found it yet, And I don't mind. I don't mind at all. And to me, that's what it, makes it all the more fun, in my opinion. Well, thank you for making it this far, and I hope to see you all again in episode 32. This is Dayhawk, and take care of yourselves, okay? All right. Johnny!